guys started your lesson over box plots, and I had you guys watch the interactive student edition. And today we're just going to review it a little bit. So this is like actual data. It's from like food eating competitions. But let's start at the top with filling in the blank. So in order to make a box plot, you need 5 pieces of information. First step is to order the data from least to greatest. So that's what you're going to fill in on those first 2 blanks. And the reason you do that is because you have to find a bunch of middle numbers. And you can't find middle numbers accurately unless they're in order. So then you have to find the minimum. That's one of the pieces of data you need. And minimum is just the smallest number. You have to find the maximum, which is just the biggest number. And those pretty much make sense. You can probably figure that out even without any prior knowledge of box plots. But then you start talking about quartiles. And there's 3 quartiles. But quartiles are just a very fancy word for middles. So you always want to start by finding Q2. And Q2 is the same thing as the median. So once the numbers are in order from least to greatest, you find the number smack dab in the middle, label it as Q2. And then once you've found the middle of your data, you're going to find the middle of the first half, which is going to be Q1. So find the middle number between the minimum, so the beginning of your data, and the middle. And then there's Q3, which is the middle number for the second half of your data. So it's in between the middle and the maximum. And now let's actually put that to use. So we've got the following are the top 10 contestant results for the Chacho's World Taco Eating Championship. So we've got 9 people, so there's going to be 9 data points. And they're already in order. They're not in order from least to greatest. They're in order from greatest to least. But we can just look at it backwards and figure it out. So this guy, I don't even know why he entered the competition. He only ate 12. And then we've got the champion up here who ate 79. So let's find the minimum. The minimum is going to be the smallest number you see. So the minimum is going to be Mr. John Davis at only 12 tacos. And then the maximum is Joey Chestnut. And this is just a side note. He wins the hot dog eating contest like almost every year. So he's just a professional eater. Like that's actually his job for a living. So now we have to find Q1, Q2, and Q3. And remember up here, you have to find Q2 first. So I'm going to put a little number 1 next to it. You can't find Q1 and Q3 until you have found Q2. It's just the way it works. And Q2 is the same thing as the median. So find the middle number. I'm going to switch my colors. There's 9 contestants, so there should be only 1 number in the middle, and it is going to be Steve Henry. So I'm going to circle him. He ate 37 hot dogs. He's going to be our Q2. He's smack dab in the middle. He's our median, Q2. Q2. And now this is going to be backwards because normally they're in order from least to greatest. This one's in order from greatest to least. So Q1 is actually going to be in the middle of these bottom 4 numbers. And since there's 4 numbers, that means there's going to be 2 in the middle. So from number 6, which is Sergio, to 9, John Davis, we've got 2 numbers in the middle. It's Cameron and Henry. Cameron ate 23. Henry ate 13, so let me pull out my calculator, even though I could probably do that math in my head. But we need to add them and divide by 2. So 13 plus 23 is 36, and then half of 36 is 18. So right here, 18, that's your Q1. It's the middle of your first half. I'm going to label it as Q1. And then now we need to find Q3, which is the same thing as just for the second half of the data. So from 53, which is Adrian, all the way to our champion, Joey Chestnut, at 79, there's 2 numbers in the middle. It's 56 and 68. So 56 plus 68, 124. Half of 124 is 62. So your median, well, it's not really, it is a median. It's the middle of your second half, but your Q3 is 62. So now you've got all the numbers you need to make your box plot. So I'm going to flip back to my blue because my minimum and my maximum are just represented with dots. I've got the number line created for you. The data ranges from 12 all the way up to 79, so I counted by tens because that's kind of a wide range. But I'm going to put a dot. You do it above the number line. You don't do it exactly on the number line, but I'm going to put a dot at 12 to represent my minimum, and then a dot at 79, so right next to 80, to represent my maximum. Flip back to red. My quartiles, Q1, Q2, Q3, that's going to make the box. It's called a box plot because it looks like a box. So we were going to put a line at 18. Just put a line. It looks like a number 1. And then again at 37. So that's like right here. And then another one at 62. So like right here. And then you connect it. It makes a box. And that's when I learned this in school, we called it box and whisker plots because that looks like a box and these look like whiskers. So if you want to think of it as that, you can. And there's your box plot. Now, 1 second. Okay, number 2, it says the following are the top 8 contestant results from the inaugural National Harbor World Peeps Eating Championship. So Peeps marshmallows from Easter. This guy ate 200 of them in 5 minutes. They all had 5 minutes to eat as many Peeps as they could. So we've got the winner at 200 and then last place, 58. So find the minimum. That's going to be 58. Remember, minimum smallest. Maximum is 200. And again, these are already in order. They're not in order from least to greatest. They're from greatest to least. But we can just look at it backwards again like we did on the last one. So first step is to find the middle. And since there's an even amount of data points, there's 8. There's going to be 2 in the middle. And it's going to be your 4th and 5th place contestants. So you know what to do. Add them together. 116 plus 135. 251, divide it by 2. It's going to be a decimal. It's going to be 125. Remember, that's Q2. You have to find that first. 125.5. And then you've got Q1 being the middle of the first half. So since this is technically the middle, I'm just going to draw a line. The middle's in between these two dudes, in between Dud and Michelle. So the middle of that is going to be, let's see, the middle of the first half from 5 to 8. It's going to be these two. So you've got Gideon and Crazy Legs, 110 and 75. So 110 plus 75 divided by 2. 92 and a half, and that's Q1 because it's the middle of the first half. And then Q3 is going to be the middle of these top 4. So we're going to go between Juliet and Jeffrey. Juliet ate 140. Jeffrey ate 160 peeps. Add them together, you get 300. Divide by 2, and you get 150. So your guys' number line is not labeled, but I labeled mine, and I counted by 25s because the data range is all the way from 58 to 200. So in order to fit all of them in, I had to count by 25s unless I put my little tick marks a lot closer together, which I just didn't do. So you have the minimum and the maximum. You have all of your quartiles. Remember, your quartiles make your boxes, or your box. Your minimum and maximum make the whisker. I want you guys to take that data, and then I want you to put it on that number line. And then I'm actually going to have you guys cut off the bottom of these notes and turn them in. So make sure that you have your name on the bottom somewhere. Go ahead and get that done, and then you can move on to the Google form.